r/rules horror. Posted by u/maleficent_grand_532. Rules to survive your stay at Emerald Bay Inn. Your room number is 450-307. If you lose the room key, we will get you another room and move your items there with you. We also advise you to not go back to your old room. Things in your room will include 2 beds, 2 chairs, a cassette tape player, a nightstand, a desk, with a complimentary notepad and pen, an old TV issue. Rule 1, upon entering the hotel, head straight to the front desk. Don't talk to anyone before you go to the front desk. If someone talks to you, ignore them. You will also need to retrieve your room key from the front desk. Rule 2, if you decided to use the elevator, check the snake plant potted in a blue pot next to the doors before you enter. If it's healthy, go ahead and use the elevators. If it's wilted, do not enter, take the stairs instead. If it's dead, talk to the front desk and wait outside. Someone will bring you back inside when we are finished dealing with the problem. Rule 2A, if the person who comes to retrieve you looks wrong, don't go with them. They will try to convince you to go with them, but you have to refuse. It will get personal, and yes, they do know everything about you. So, try not to let it convince you you're safe, because let's face it, you're not. Rule 2B, if the snake plant is replaced by a spider plant but is still in a blue pot, run. Run out of the hotel and as far away as you can. The blue pot means it hasn't arrived yet, and trust me, you don't want to be there when that pot changes colors. Rule 2C, if the snake plant has a red pot, close your eyes and wait until you feel lightheaded. And wait 3 seconds before you open them again and look at the plant. If it's still a snake plant but in a blue pot, congrats. You're here to live another day. But if it's still a red pot and a spider plant has replaced the snake plant, you did it wrong, and the consequences of your actions are now right behind you. Rule 3, if you decided to use the stairs, watch your step. If you fall, you may fall out of our reality. We don't know where you go when this happens, so please, try not to fall. Rule 3A, carry kids younger than 10 in your arms if you take the stairs. It seems to prefer children of that age opposed to any other, so it will attempt to trip them more often. But it can't sense them if you are carrying them. Rule 4, upon finding your room, look at the numbers on the key, and the numbers next to your door. If they match, you can enter. If they don't, close your eyes and knock on the door, loudly proclaim that this is your room and step aside. You will hear the door slam open and a pair of footsteps run down the hall. Open your eyes when you can't hear them anymore and enter your room. Rule 5, the pool is never open. Do not enter the pool room. Rule 6, all visitors are to be in their rooms by 10. Once you are in your room, lock the door. Do not look out the peephole. If they get in your room, do not make eye contact with it. It will leave when it gets bored. Rule 6A, you will hear people you know and love banging on the door, begging to be let in. Do not let them in. It could not be your loved one, as they are either in the room with you, not in the hotel, or, if they were with you but didn't get back to the room, dead. There are complimentary noise-canceling headphones in the drawer. You enter your room, glad that Rule 4 did not occur. There is a tape on your bed. You pick it up. Rule 7, all employees wear uniforms. If there is someone outside your door claiming to be an employee but is not wearing a uniform, call the front desk and do not leave your room for the rest of the day. The tape is unlabeled. You blow on it and wipe it with your sleeve. You remember there is a cassette player in your room. Before you can put the tape in, you remember Rule 8. Rule 8, in the lobby there is a box of cassette tapes. They are all labeled and child-friendly. However, if you notice an unlabeled tape, immediately report it to us to reduce injury and incident. You look at the tape. It couldn't be so bad, right? It wasn't in the lobby, it was on your bed. Before you allow common sense to stop you, you put the tape in and press play. At first it's an ad for the inn. It shows the lobby, the front desk, the inside of a room, hell, it even shows the pool. You sit on the edge of your bed and watch, letting the man's voice consume your every thought. The tape glitches. You shake your head and blink, you must have zoned out. It's making weird noises now, it sounds like crying. The tape stops glitching, you see a room. It looks like the room you're in. There is a man. Hess sobbing and his hands are together, Hess mumbling something. You realize he is praying. And that there is knocking on the door. He starts sobbing harder as the screaming starts. Daddy! Let me in. I don't want to be here anymore. He attempts to shuffle under the bed, trying to quiet himself. The door breaks. "Daddy?" It has the voice of a young girl, but it is anything but one. It has no skin. And as it drags itself across the room, the man screams. It grabs him and pulls him out from under the bed. You realize you have been crying without realizing it. You wipe away your tears and stumble over to the nightstand to get the phone and contact the front desk, but as you feel a fleshy, wet hand grab you. You realize the tape never showed the thing leaving. Rule 9. Room 450 is not available due to an incident that happened in there. Sometimes the person at the front desk will give you this room. Politely refuse and leave the hotel. It's better than the alternative. The next story of this video. Posted by u/horror acrobatic 7158. Scott Mall rules, security guard, night shift. Hello, John. We have accepted your job application as a security guard for the night shift of Scott Mall. Congratulations. Unlike the day shifts, however, you will be alone in the building due to the risk it poses during the night, but you will be compensated with significantly more pay than the day shifts, at $300 an hour. Your job is to make sure no one gets or out for the safety of many more. Your shift starts at 6 p.m. and ends at 6 a.m. when the day shift guards come to relieve you of your duties. To get to your office, make your way to the main entrance and walk to your right. After following the hallway, you will reach the security room where we have provided you with tools for the job. Essentially, we have a map and instructions in the middle drawer. We will also provide rules here in case you lost it and needed to make another. Rules is a night guard. 1. The mall closes at 8 p.m. You have to patrol around the mall to see that no one is still inside. It is highly advised that you conduct your patrol at 7 p.m. since that will be the time where the shops and the mall are preparing to close, and by 8 p.m., the mall will fully close. 2. During your first patrol until 8:30, nothing will happen, but it is imperative that you begin to make your way to the office by 8:10 if you haven't already. 3. If you don't make it into your office by 8:30, the creatures that have been dormant during the day will start to wake up. Try to remain calm and see where you are at, then proceed to plan on entering your office without alerting the creatures. The faster enter, the better, since the creatures will be drowsy for a few minutes, which will slow them down and reduce their senses. 4. Once you are in your office, check the cameras. If you see that multiple creatures are heading to the same direction, it is moving towards you. In this case, switch off the lights, lock your doors and hide under the table. Your chances of survival increases if you hold your breath for 10 seconds. 5. If at any point of your shift that you feel lightheaded in the office, seal off the vents. The creatures inside the vent will try to shut the vent off from oxygen and replace it with carbon dioxide, which will make you pass out / open the doors / hinder your ability to follow the rules. While these creatures cannot harm you directly, with the exception of lack of oxygen, if you pass out or open the doors, it will be your last mistake. You can take whatever you block the vents with off after 10 minutes after the occurrence. 6. Between 10 to 11 p.m., you have to conduct another patrol. As much as we don't like it, staying in the office during that period is a bad idea. For the past 25 years the mall has been set up, the stronger entities will start to manifest in the office and stay there. 6.1 During your second patrol, it is very important that you keep as quiet as possible and have the map with you at all times. Getting lost in the mall is one of the worst things that can happen, and that makes you an easy target. 6.2 It should be obvious by now that no other human beings should be here. If you see a human, don't approach said human. It's the shapeshifter. Instead, quietly find a hiding spot or go back to the office without attracting attention when it hits 11 p.m. 7 For the next few hours, nothing will happen, so you can rest, but keep the doors locked. However, don't fall asleep, as they won't hesitate to use your opening if you fall asleep. 8 At 3 a.m. to 4 a.m., the dark entity will now be at its strongest without manifesting physically. While it wouldn't manifest physically, it can still harm you by manipulation of objects or corrupt your mind and will hijack your body. 9 If the dark entity never tries to hijack you, other entities in the mall will now look for you, including inside the office. The only thing we can advise you is to hide and hope for the best until 5:30 a.m., where the mall will begin to open and day shift staffs will come in. However, don't leave the office if the day shift guard isn't here yet or if it's not yet 6 a.m. 7 After you've left, don't come back to the mall unless it's your shift. You've been marked and targeted by entities of the mall once inside, so you don't want to spend any longer than necessary. Rules if you are hijacked. In rare cases, the dark entity will try to hijack and take control of your body, but we have provided instructions to try to regain control of your body. It is very important that you remember this section, since you won't be able to take the rule sheet with you once in there. Instructions if your body got attempted to be hijacked. 1. You will find yourself in the second floor of the mall. Your goal is to make your way to the exit before the dark entity or his creatures catch you before you can escape. 2. Unlike during the day, the dark entity's powers during the night is much stronger and can now influence you to do things you should not. Whatever you do, don't give in. 3. The maximum time you can stay here without being fully controlled is 40 minutes. Do not take longer than necessary. 4. Take the stairs and avoid dark corners. His creatures will be waiting to pin you down and eat your soul, guaranteeing that you will not be able to regain control. 5. Unlike during the day, the creatures now have stronger senses and physical abilities. Avoid them if possible. 6. Once you've escaped the dark entity's hijacking attempt, he will not try again for 3 weeks and you will wake up in your office as before. That will be the instructions as a night guard. We understand that the shift poses immense risk for you, but we have to keep the entities in for the safety of many others. We wish you good luck and hopefully an eventful night.